Okie dokie, y'all. All right. Let's see how I can do this. Hey, everybody. Okay. Cool. All right. What's up, everybody? So what we're going to do is I'm going to wait just a second and get some people in here. If you guys don't mind, share the video out. We're going to get Dixie on here in just a second. I got a requester in just a second. I'm going to wait, though. Let everybody get here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and request her now, and that way we can get the audience built up. Oh! Hey, girl!
Hey!
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited. So what I thought we could do right now at the beginning is kind of like wait, let some people get over here because we just ended the live stream over on Dr. B's YouTube channel, so I know a lot of people will be coming over.
Okay.
And then I'm super excited because I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel. I've never heard your story before. It's like,
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to this. And just so you know, I kind of tell you like what I do, so that way it'll be easy and you won't have any questions. So whenever I have a guest on, I kind of give them like a outline. What I want you to do is share with me what it was like when you were a kid before you ever got on drugs, like what kind of family you had, whether your parents divorced, were you poor, were you rich, did you go to school, did you flunk out, that kind of thing.
Right.
Then we'll move into sharing what got you into your addiction and your addiction, and I want you to just be like straight up about it.
Okay.
Let's try not to drop any F-bombs because I don't want us to get knocked off of the live, you know what I mean? But other than that, you can share the truth of what happened. Share us why did you get into your addiction? Was there an influence? Did you date a guy and then you started using? Did you break your leg and go to the doctor? Whatever it was. And then after we get through your addiction part, then we'll move into your recovery, how you got sober, what you're doing today, what inspires you to stay sober, all that kind of thing. So, and if I have questions or anything, I'll just kind of like raise my hand and ask you, just like a regular conversation. And just keep it going like that. It'll be awesome. I am so excited to hear your story. Like, you're one of the people.
Nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous at all. You're one of the first people, when you first came onto the app and I saw your TikToks, I was like, I've got to get her on Real Talk Recovery, but I feel like you was always dipping and dodging because you was nervous.
I was.
I know. Because you're like, yeah, girl, let's do it.
I'm nervous.
Well, I'm like, keep saying, yeah, let's do it, but she's not doing it.
Because I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be as much as I get up in front of the camera and get crazy, You
have the most funniest TikToks in the whole wide world. Like, I relate to every single TikTok that you drop. Everyone. There's not one of those, not one thing that I haven't done that, that you've done. Every time I'm like, yep, I did that.
Yep. It's the truth. Everything that I've put in my videos, either the truth, I've been through it, or it was something that my husband did. And I reacted.
Yeah.
So
that one that you did, I tried to do it like you did with the movie scene. You know that one movie scene from Fried Green Tomatoes when the lady gets in the car and she says, Tawanda! Yeah. That's my favorite.
I've seen that one. That was good.
I tagged you. I should have went outside and got in my car and did it like that, but I was being lazy.
I know, me too. That's why mine was. I was trying to get my head turned, and I'm so big I couldn't get my head turned.
Oh, listen to me. You are beautiful. I am the same way. I think you and me are a lot alike. Like, I'm really self-conscious about the weight that I've gained in my recovery. But man, we are beautiful, and we are way more beautiful than when we were getting high on meth.
Exactly. Yes.
No.
I was picked out. I mean, I picked my face. I lost a ton of weight really, really fast, and I just didn't look. I didn't look good. But in addiction, I thought I was looking good. You know what I mean? But I really wasn't.
Me too. Okay, girl. There's people here. I'm excited. What's up, Cece? What's up, Deb? Hey, everybody. So tonight, Dixie's going to
Hey.
share her story with us. I'm super freaking excited. So we're going to get started. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you take it away. Tell us what it was like when Dixie was a little one, when you were a little girl growing up.
Okay, well, I'm the only child. Um, my mom, she's originally from Kansas. She met my father. Actually, he was in the Navy at the time, and he was stationed. He was doing something in Kansas, and they had met up, and they just hit it off. But my dad was the type that he would be one way, and then behind closed doors, he was another. So, unfortunately, my mom got trapped into that, but she fell in love. So they they stayed together for a while, and then probably when I was like in fifth or sixth grade is when it got really rocky. My dad actually was addicted to methamphetamine, and I found out when I was young. God,
What was that
I had a
like?
rock.
Could you tell that he was addicted to meth when you were a kid?
Yes, he was a truck driver, so he got introduced to it to stay awake. So that's how his addiction became. Um, my parents always were rocky up and down, fighting all the time. But then when he got trucking is when it got worse, and when he got addicted to meth and everything. When I was younger and I have friends over, whatever, of course, when we're kids, we snoop around. Well, I would go in like the side table drawer in the living room and pull out the drawer, and there's a plate full of meth. And then
Yeah,
me and my friend, we're kids, we go and we put it on our tongue, and our tongue numbs. You know what I mean? We're little kids. What if we would have consumed a lot? My
right.
my dad was he was trying to be sneaky, but he wasn't good enough. Like he would leave empty pen wrappers in drawers everywhere, or empty wrappers everywhere. Um, but his eventually he finally got in trouble. I don't know why I'm so nervous, Nicole.
Calm down. Look at me. Calm down. You're fine. It's just you and me. It's just you and me,
I
and you're
know.
doing great.
I know.
And listen to me,
Oh
the
no.
fact that you grew up in a household with one parent using, that's like really hard. Like, I can't even imagine because my mom and dad didn't, they're squares. They never drank, they drank
Yeah.
alcohol like every now and then at a party or something, but other
Right.
than that, they didn't do anything. So,
Yeah. See, my mom, that was her. She didn't do nothing, but my dad, he was into that. And the way he would get it is he would get it from California because he was on the road
oh,
all the
he would
time. He
drive
knew
through
where to
there.
get it. Right. Well, he was actually had some friends in our town that they would get together, and they would have it mailed somehow through UPS. Well, they were getting away with it now back then. This was back in 96.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they finally realized what the package is and what they entailed. So finally one day the UPS truck comes up to my dad's house. He goes outside, he signs a paper, the SWAT team comes out the back of the UPS truck, and yeah, he was the biggest bust in 1996 in Putnam County
And
for
so, this is
methamphetamine.
your house when you were a kid or at his house?
This was actually at a friend's house where he did the drugs and hung out with. This
Wow.
was at their house, but he was there and he signed for it. So he got in trouble.
Yeah.
But when he was in jail, he decided he was going to roll on the other people. So he got only like 3 years of felony drug probation for it when he was looking at years in prison.
How did that affect your childhood? Did your parents fight a lot? Did you have stability growing up, or was it you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was growing up, we lived in the same house for 30 years. My parents are still married to this day. I was in like baseball, softball, cheerleading, and all that. What was it like for you growing up?
Me and my dad didn't really get along. My dad was on the road a lot, so it was just me and my mom. Um, so I was glad when he was gone.
Yeah.
I was glad when he was away because he wasn't more of a mental abuse, or he wasn't more of a physical abuser, but he was a mental abuser.
Yeah.
So when he was out the picture, it was good, and it was just me and my mom. And my mom, she was a home health aide, and she always was able to keep really, really good jobs that paid good money. So I was able to be taken care of by a good mom. Um, I feel like a lot of my past with a lot of the things that I went through with my father helped with the addictions process,
Yeah.
because I was already, because I could see a pattern of where, and I started binge drinking at 16, started smoking pot at 16, and then it worked up into, you hit about 17, 18, I got introduced to cocaine, and my dad had an addictive personality, so I got that from him as well.
Me too.
But yeah,
My dad
like
did
it,
cocaine when he was like in high school or something like that, and he used to tell
yeah,
me and my sister stories about it. But he was like, "I just quit when y'all were born. I just quit smoking and I quit doing because he would do
see,
cocaine
that's
every now and
good.
then, but he just stopped when we
Yeah,
were born. But he has that addictive personality or that genetics, and so I'm the same way as my dad too.
yeah.
You're doing so good. You're doing
I
so
know
good. Okay, so tell me this. So you're 17 years old and you start getting introduced to the harder stuff. What was going on? Were
that.
you hanging out with who were you hanging out with? Was it a were you dating a guy? Tell us
Yeah,
about it,
it's
girl.
usually well, with the cocaine and like it was cocaine and crack area, and it was I went. I was a guy I went to school with, and he had a brother, and they lived out in Jacksonville. Well, one of my friends at school was dating the friend of mine, but not the brother. So she wanted me to go along with her. And when we went out there, I found out that he did that. And I felt like, and I don't know why women do this sometimes, but I felt like, oh, well, maybe if I was tried it and started doing it with him, maybe he'll start liking me.
Yeah.
Well, he just used me. He used me for my money. And I realized, and it was weird. I stayed on the binger for like 2 or 3 months. And then finally I woke up because one day I went up there and they had kids. The guy, okay, where the guy lived across the street, he had some friends and they had kids. That's where we would usually go over and do the drugs. Well, this time when I go up there, I actually pull up into the friend's driveway. Their kids are on their porch screaming and crying, and I'm thinking, what in the heck's going on? So I go up to the door. I actually open, they let me in. I go over to their bedroom, the parents' bedroom. The dad's got himself locked in the bedroom asleep. The mom had just left before I got there in the car to go to the apartments to go score some more dope and left her kids there. It was Halloween. They were ready to go trick or treating. And I sat there and thought to myself, there ain't no way. I couldn't do this. And that's before I had kids or anything like that. And I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking of kids. I was young myself. I actually got those kids ready in whatever I think she was like a princess and he was like a vampire, and I got them all dressed up as good as I could and walked them down their street to go trick or treating. And that's when I said, screw this stuff, and I backed off. See, I have strong points in my life where I could say no, or I could back off, or something would trigger to say no, and then there's certain parts where I couldn't get out of it. It took to finally hit rock bottom. And I've
Yeah.
had to hit rock bottom a couple times,
Oh yeah, me
to
too.
finally get out of it. This last time I almost died. And even after I almost died, I still didn't give a fuck. Excuse my language. I
No,
still
you're
didn't
okay.
care. You know?
So when you okay, so when you were a kid, after that happened and you kind of like was like forget this, I'm not going to do this anymore, did you graduate high school? Did you like get into a long-term relationship with anybody? What happened after high school?
Well, after high school, I mean, I was still having a rocky relationship with my dad. Um, I didn't graduate high school. But I did go that same year and went and got my GED, because I felt like at least if I got my GED and I graduated that year, I felt like I went with my class.
Yeah.
But I never got to do the graduating or anything like that, because at 16 I left my house. I couldn't handle my dad, so I slept on couches. My dad let me take a 2000, or I'm sorry, a 1999 Malibu, but I was paying payments on it, so I felt like he had to give it to me, to
Yeah.
take. And I slept in my car. I'd go down the road where my neighbors knew me, and I would sleep in my car. And the neighbors would come to the car and go, "Oh, it's just Dixie," and they'd leave me alone. They knew not to call the law. They knew I was okay because they knew how my dad was. So, I I was I
At
just didn't want to be
16
with.
years old, you were living in your car.
Hmm.
And your
I was
parents,
living.
your dad didn't care?
No, my dad didn't care. My mom did, but my mom was scared or something during that time. She loved my dad, but I feel like she felt like she couldn't do it without him. But really, in reality, she was so much stronger than him and could do it triple times. You know what I mean? And she figured it out finally when she got the courage to finally leave him. She could do it on her own, and she's been soaring ever since. You know, um, but yeah, my mom would let me come stay at the house if he was on the road.
Yeah.
But if he'd come home, I had to go, and I respected her wishes because of that. Now I had a lot of resentment towards my mom for that. I mean, you ask her. I used to throw it in her face. You let me go sleep in a car. You let me walk the road. You didn't come back after me. You're my mother. You know what I mean? I had a lot of resentment. Then, what things I've been through now with relationships and stuff like that, I completely understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
She was scared. She was nervous, and I've told her, I apologize. I do understand where you're coming from now, but it
Was
took
your
for me to
dad
grow up and go
abusive?
through that.
Was he abusing your
It
mom?
wasn't even a physical abuse though, Nicole. It was like it was the mental
Yeah.
abuse, and he was just like, he's a perfectionist. He wanted everything done so. Like if I had to go outside and I had to rake, you best believe every leaf just had to be off that ground. And maybe I'm just too sensitive too. I'm very sensitive. So maybe I was just taking that. I don't know.
My
Just
dad,
me and my dad did not click, man. It just I don't know why.
he was in the military, wasn't he? You said?
He was in the Navy. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I think a lot of parents that were in the military are like that because my dad used to
Yeah.
do this thing where he'd go across our dressers with a white glove on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
Like
hell
I'm
no.
serious. Like but it was bad to where if you heard his truck pull in, you knew what time it was. It was like on eggshells, and you're jumping up trying to make sure everything's just so. Like it really affected me, and I am very sensitive, anyways, too. So that could be a lot of the reason too.
But you couldn't talk to
Yeah.
your parents about nothing. You couldn't talk to them about nothing because they had you were on eggshells all the time. So you probably
Right.
felt like your only option was to go get fucked up because then you could like not have to worry about it, you know?
Right. Well, I wasn't allowed to have friends at the house. I couldn't do anything. I felt isolated. Like there's kids are in high school. They're going to parties. They're going with their friends to go do this and that. I'm at home. I'm doing chores.
Yeah.
I'm during the summer. I'm begging the neighbor girl, praying she might want to play with me. It's just it's
That sucks,
it. Yeah,
you know?
it does.
And you have kids now, don't you?
Yes, I have a 9-year-old. He's autistic, and then I have a 4-year-old.
Well, when we see how good our kids have it, we I know your kids probably have the best
Yeah.
time, don't they?
Oh my gosh, yes, my 9-year-old's acting. He's in his teens right now. He's like 16 now. Like I always tell him, you don't realize how good you got it.
Yep.
You know, versus how. Oh my goodness, like I would have never got away with what my
I
kids
tell
do. But
Nate
I'm
the
a push.
same thing. Nathaniel's seven
Yeah.
years old, and I constantly tell him, "You have no idea. My dad would have beat my ass if they
That's
have no
it.
idea. They'll never understand.
No.
They're
No.
spoiled."
Yes, very. And a lot of it too is from guilt,
Yep. Me
from
too.
drug use. You know what I mean? Because I'm sorry, my youngest, my oldest, okay, I was on pills at the time when I got into to being addicted um, to Dilaudid. Um, and I was so messed up, and I hate to admit this, and I have not really came out and admitted it. I've tied off in front of him and started trying to use in front of my child and have to turn my back, and then getting mad at him because he's in the room and you're screaming at him, it's just, I feel like I have a lot of guilt, I feel bad, like I feel like he remembers that, but he never says anything. But I feel like he does. So
Well, listen,
that's probably why I'm so lenient.
don't be ashamed or anything because I have done all that, and I used drugs when I was pregnant with my son. So you're not going to say anything in here that I haven't done and that I'm going to judge you for. Okay.
Okay.
Because I was
Okay.
out there during my whole pregnancy. My son came out of me, and I was high on meth when I gave birth. And so
Really?
don't be embarrassed to talk about it because I'm not going to judge you at all.
No, I know
Okay.
you're not. I know. I know.
Um. So okay. So you're living in your car and you're young. When did you start getting real bad off on drugs? Like what happened?
Well, when I always did the binge drinking, you know, during the 18, 20-ish. It was 2009. So how old was I then? 2009. Babe,
I'm
how old was I?
39 now, so I was 30 in 2009.
I'm 30.
I was
I'm 35, so
So you're 25.
25. Okay,
25.
sorry. So around 18, 25, I might have did a little bit of cocaine here and there, drank. But when I really got addicted was when I met my children's father. Um, I didn't know that he was addicted at the time um, until like after a couple of months, and then he comes to me and says, "Hey, you want to try this?" And it was first. It was was it those OC 80s?
Uh huh. I
He came
remember
out with
those.
those. I didn't really care for those pills. Like I felt like that was just too much powder. Man, I don't want to mess with that stuff. We were so then, of course, I tried it and I didn't really care for it. But then next thing you know, he started introducing me to Roxy's, and I love that. The drip, I fell in love with it, and that's when I got addicted.
Did you start shooting up right away, or were you snorting them?
No, I actually snorted at the time. I didn't shoot up, never knew about shooting up, anything like that. What started that was my best friend, but I'll wait until we get into that part. But
So you didn't get really into your bad drug addiction until you were like 25 years
in my
old.
early 20s,
So
in my mid 20s.
so what were you doing before that? Were you just like working and like just
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
was just a normal kid. Like, oh, I swear, I'm normal kid, still lived with my parents. Um, I hung out with my best friend at the time, I thought was my best friend. Um, go to her house, binge drink on the weekends. I'd work at Ace Hardware. I mean, I was just normal kid, you know, every now and again would party here and there, might have some cocaine or something. But when it really got into it was when I met the father of my children.
okay,
And
now
I think I did that. Yeah. So
so y'all got together. He introduces you
yeah,
to the Roxy's, and so okay, tell me all about it because I was on Roxy's bad, like
I was.
real bad. I spent so much money, $30 on those damn things, $30 a pill.
Yeah. Yep, they were the last time I bought one it was $40, and that was I had enough. That's just too expensive. But we were selling everything we had. We we lived in a camper. We didn't care. I was stealing from my mom. I mean, my mom had a safety deposit box in her bank. I would take the key, go up there because she had my name on it, took advantage of it, took her money, stole things out of my house to sell to neighbors, sold my food stamps. I stole her debit card numbers just to write it down to get money orders sent to me in my name, stole checks. I mean, I went nuts over this stuff. Then it got so bad that his brother-in-law was actually taking people down south to do the doctor shop thing. So I got into that. I went to Boca Raton and went to a doctor or to a place called Pay Me Gone. Went in there and I was getting 210 a month, 210 30s. What was it? 100 and something 15s, 90 bars, and then of course they got to give you the somas and they got to give you the stool softeners. So I was getting half of the script at that time. That was way back then, and then they
Yeah.
were $10 a piece if I wanted to buy them back from them. So I thought I was hitting it good, you know. But then it started getting to where they were getting too expensive. We were running out of money. We were running out of stuff to to um, to steal or to get money. Then we started fighting real bad. Started putting his hands on me. Started cheating on me. Um, And with all that was all going on, my best friend, she had me pick her up one day, and we went to go to the dope man, and she's like, well, I'm gonna get this kind. You know, I know you don't like the needle thing or whatever. I said, whatever. So I paid for my pill. Well, I took my old pill, and I've taken so many, I've got a tolerance up.
Yep.
She just did half a D in my seat, and she's passed out in my seat. I said, I'll be damned. So one night I had her and her boyfriend at the time show me how to use a needle, and that was it. That was the start of a new venture.
What was it like when the first time you injected opiates?
Oh my God, that was it. That was my love. That was it. The brain freeze, all of it. I was chasing it, and I was chasing it hard.
Yeah.
Stealing again, doing whatever I could. I didn't care.
The first thing I shot up was methamphetamine, and it was my friend Tammy and this guy named Nate, and they mixed me up a 40-unit shot of methamphetamine for my first shot, and it was so thick it looks like maple syrup in the syringe. And they gave it to me, and we had a threesome that night.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't listen. I'm going to be honest. That's why I do not like methamphetamine, because it will turn you into somebody that you're not. And I swear I have issues because of it. If I see certain people, certain songs, anything will trigger it. It's just, I've done some fucked up shit too on meth. It's just it turns you into a different person. I swear it turns you into the devil.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got so strung out that after that, like, I just chased it forever. And see, I did mine backwards. I was shooting meth first, and then it was probably, I started when I was smoking it at 17, and then by 22 or 23, I was injecting. And then, like, in 2009, I started injecting Roxy's. And so they came on the other side for me. And then that's what really... Yeah. Opiate withdrawal is what really caved it in for me and made me realize, like, damn, I can't function on top of methamphetamine, because I would get so tweaked out, and then I would do opiates and try to come down that I would be out of my mind, like totally insane. Like, imagining people were there that really weren't there, seeing all kinds of crazy shit. It was so scary to me. I still ask myself if I've seen that shit, like, because it was so it was so real.
I got videos that I look back on, and it's like close-ups and zoom-ups of our back in our woods, because every time on our back porch, we get on that shit and get on the back porch, and I swear to God, there was monkeys climbing up in the trees. There's people walking back there. We seen them. They're there.
Yeah. No, I would have been right out there looking at them.
They're still there.
Okay, so now you and your old man, y'all are doing opiates. What transitioned y'all into methamphetamine?
Because I seen that it was a better high, and I felt like you were getting more out of your money.
Yeah.
So I introduced it to him, and I don't think I ever taught him, because I'm not good at that back and forth. I think eventually just hanging around people, we eventually got it, and it spiraled out of control, just like it did with the Roxy's, really, but just worse. Because now you're building a tolerance up, shooting it. I don't know. It just felt like we were chasing it more, because I don't know if we were just chasing the shooting it too as well. I don't know.
Stimulants have a different effect on the brain, and so opiates are addicting and everything, but when you're shooting meth, it's like so strong. I don't know. It's like you can't help but get geeked out. It's just a different kind of high and a different kind of addiction, I feel like. And it makes you crazy. Did you guys get in fights? Did y'all get in fights thinking y'all were cheating on each other and all kinds of stuff like that?
Me and my husband. Now, one we're talking about before, that's ex. But my husband now, with me and my ex, we never did, the father of my children, we never did meth. together or anything like that. That was my pill addiction, was when I was with him. When I got on my meth addiction, it was like he lost his job. We were home with the kids. It was like a boredom thing, and we just started using. And honestly, we're just like, hey, you ever had sex on meth? No, let's try it. That's
Yeah.
what happened. And oh my God, we would just trip out.
I know.
Bad.
I've been it got pretty bad where like I would be with Neil and I would think someone it was underneath the covers, like on the other side of the bed. And I would be
Yeah.
crying because I'm like, I know you're cheating on me. I know you're cheating on me.
He,
And there was
he
no one
would.
there, you know?
That's how my husband be. We would be laying in bed or something, and I'd have I'd have my back towards him or something, and he'd videotape me thinking that there'd be somebody right there trying to. He's laughing at me right now. He would think somebody was coming up beside me, and he's sitting there going like this. See, I wish you could see his face. He's like, right.
I believe you because I was the same way with
Oh my
Neil.
God.
I would get
He would
so
get
upset.
he would get a BB gun, and he would lay on the back porch and swear there were guys jumping over the fence coming to see me. And he was sitting there half naked, sitting there just like this. ready to shoot somebody. Coming in, and it's funny, he used to walk in the room and he'd take his bat and he'd tap, 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 just tapping on walls, thinking that somebody's going to tap back or come at him. Like, he would really, I never really thought there was people in the walls or anything like that. I felt like there was bugs in my skin. That was all I had.
Yeah.
My husband was the one that was more of seeing the people and stuff like that. I was more of the picker. Like, I was in the mirror about to pick my face off, or I would get
Tell us
stuck.
what y'all did to y'all's house up in the ceiling where the hole's at. What did you think was there? I want to know about that hole. I want to know about the bathroom. What happened to the bathroom?
The bathroom was just on meth, tweaked out, remodeling.
Remodeling.
And
a remodel that never got done.
No, it got done, but it got done messed up is what happened. The hole here, honestly, I think we were just digging, and then my husband likes to dig with his hands. Like, he'll take clothes and he'll just, I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? Have you heard of that?
Just
Where
like
someone
nervous
just takes
syndrome, where you're just
kind of like this, or like digging in something and just keeps digging and digging and digging and doesn't know what they're digging for.
I used to do that in the couch cushions. I used to cut a hole in the couch cushion and pull the stuff out of it.
You didn't do dope like I did either.
See, and that's what my husband just said. He said, if you did a gram of dope like he did, he said, you'd be digging a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot more than I did. I tried to keep up with him, but he did a lot more than I did.
I could do a gram in one
He could
shot.
do a gram in one shot. Like it. And it's just instant right when you do it. It's like, for us, it was instant. We had to have sex. It was just, I don't know what they have in it that makes it. Is there ecstasy or something in it?
No, it just makes you. It's like that euphoria. It makes you like, and it like makes you
Ready to
turn
go.
on. Now tell me this: with you, me and my husband were in active meth addiction together too. What is it like
Yeah.
now? How are you guys? Are y'all able to have sex now,
Yes.
or you struggle to
Yes.
get intimate?
No, we can get intimate. I have no trouble there.
When me and Neil
with
got
me,
sober, there was a period where it was like I was just didn't know what to do, and I felt so ugly, and I felt like I gained so much weight where I didn't even want to do anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's my Suboxone that I take, but I know that it's very hard for me to
Yeah.
get to, what I'm going to say.
You don't want to gain weight. I ain't no little
And-
dude. I'm
and
250 pounds.
He said I gained weight too. He said I'm a big, a small. Tell him what you said.
No, I wear my weight different so people don't look at me that way, but I'm 230 pounds.
Here.
Yeah.
He's listening.
You're
Go ahead.
So-
My bad.
But y'all are like y'all's relationship though. Since y'all got sober, y'all still have like a good relationship, like intimate
Connection.
relationship.
Yes. And see, when we first got together, we were not on drugs. So we have a period of where we were together off drugs and we were together on drugs. And we love each other so much that we
Mom
fought
knocking on the
through it.
door?
Is that my mom?
Yeah.
No.
Open the door. Yes, it is.
Hold on, Nicole. Hold
Oh,
on,
you're
one
fine.
second. I think my mom. I'm sorry.
No, girl, you're fine. You guys, this is so exciting because like me and my husband both got we were in our active addiction together and we've been sober together, and so to be able to talk with her and her husband in the background, to have our
Oh,
stories relate to each other is what I think is so awesome, because me and Neil, you know, I was always so afraid that he wasn't going to love me when we got sober. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I was
Well,
so scared that
I,
was going to happen.
well, when we first decided to get sober, I was the one that decided it first. It was hard for him to get
What
sober on
happened?
the level.
Why did y'all get sober? What happened? Because I know y'all are strung out. Y'all are doing meth. You have kids by your other the old man, the other guy, and so you
Yeah.
guys get strung out. Did your parents take your kids, or did you like keep them and then decide to get sober
You talking about when I was on the pills when I decided to get sober, or with the meth?
with
There
the
was two
meth?
different times.
With the meth.
With the meth, when I after the wreck, I got in some trouble that I had to go to jail for.
Tell us about the
It
wreck.
was for
Hold on, rewind. Tell us what happened with the wreck.
okay. Well, mind you, we're addicted to meth. We're high, almost every day. My brakes in my car went out, and some O2 sensors went out. So we decided we were going to get high and we were going to fix the car. And we're thinking we're normal headed. I'm out there helping them too, thinking I'm doing something. I'm just not doing anything. Well, we get it fixed as good as we could. My husband, he got his brother to come over, help with the brakes and everything. You know, we're thinking that everything's going to work. Well,
Everything was working. The brake booster went out.
yeah, everything was working at the time. But me, of course, if I don't get my way, I can kind of, especially on an active addiction, I get very, very angry and very mean. So I begged him to take me to go get some more drugs. And he didn't want to, and I should have listened to him, but I was being a bitch and said, no, I want to go. Well, I had my 4-year-old with me. My oldest was in school and was almost about to be out to be on the bus. Well, we are going down the road, going up to 17, and he's going about good 50, 55 miles an hour. Couldn't stop. The brake booster went out in the car. We went straight through the stop sign, swerved from a couple cars, and hit dead on with the caravan.
Damn.
I got life flighted. My husband broke his neck, which was funny as he was in the car, and when we woke up, we both looked over at each other, and I'm screaming. I'm trying to scream, help me, but my nose is detached from my face. I have a skull fracture, hip fractures, shattered wrist. I look over at my husband, and he looks over at me. And the first thing I said to him is, go get my purse. Make sure you get my purse. Like, I could still register. Hey, make sure you get the evidence out if I don't want them to think drugs were involved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gets out, and he's just walking over nonchalantly to go get my 4-year-old at the car because he's in the back crying. I can't turn around to see him. As he walks out, he gets my 4-year-old out the car. Daniel said he's fine. He's good. There's nothing wrong with him. But then he collapsed on the highway. They found out his neck broke. So he's walking and doing all this with a broken neck.
Damn.
I guess that's from the
adrenaline.
Adrenaline, yes. And they had to open the door for me, and they put me in the ambulance. They took me to the helicopter and life flighted me to Orange Park Medical Center. I was in there for about maybe a week, and I had to learn how to use the bathroom again. I had to learn to sit myself up, and it was hell. And you got to think, I'm a Suboxone patient, and I've told the emergency rooms that I abuse pain pills. So they have it in their system if it comes up. Yeah. So I went through all this pain without no pain meds. Me and my husband didn't have no pain meds, nothing. We only had our Suboxone. But I felt like the Suboxone did help a lot, though.
Yeah.
It really did. It helped a lot. Um, but
So y'all had gotten on Suboxone after the pill addiction is what happened, and then
after the pill
during
addiction, yes.
do it.
Yeah, I said, yeah, after the pill addiction, yeah. That's when I decided to go get help because I couldn't do it on my own. I felt like I was not strong enough to do the pill withdrawals. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Some people are strong enough to do it, and I'm going to be honest, blunt to you. I couldn't do it.
Hey,
I wasn't
I'm on
strong enough.
Suboxone. I'm on 2 milligrams of Suboxone,
Yeah,
and
that's good.
I went through withdrawal. I was in treatment for 30 days before I got on Suboxone. I got on it after I got out of treatment. My husband picked me up, and our son was in CPS care, and he had gotten on Suboxone. And I said, well, if you're on Suboxone, then I'm going to get on Suboxone because if I don't, I'm just going
Right.
to take your medication.
That's right.
And so
That's
I
right.
made the smart decision and I got on it too. And it was the best decision I ever made because I'll
Me
have
too.
6 years sober next month.
That's what's good. Now, see, with Dilaudid, I can say since 2009 when I started them, I want to say I started the program like 2012, 2013, somewhere around in there, I want to say. I never touched a Dilaudid since. Like, really. I just went to meth afterwards. Like, I really, ever since I got on Suboxone 4 pills, I have not touched pills since, ever. So, people that say that don't work, it does work.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And honestly, since you've been on Suboxone, you haven't relapsed on meth, have you?
No. Nope.
I
Have
believe
not.
that it helps with, I believe that it helps with
I think it
all
does
addiction,
too.
really.
It does.
Because
It,
I don't have cravings like I used to for opiates, meth, or benzos like I used to,
that's right.
you know?
That's right.
So y'all got in this accident. You could have died.
Yeah, and my son could have died. You know, but he had his seatbelt on. He was He had everything on correctly,
Thank you,
and
Jesus.
I'm just glad that he didn't lose his life or get hurt really really bad over my mistake, because I don't think I could have lived with that. You know, um, there's could have been plenty of times I could have lost my kids if it wasn't for my mother and for my husband, because I have put myself in situations where I've had to go to jail, and my husband and my mom were the only family members I have that took care of my kids, because unfortunately their dad's side of the family, they're not in their life at all. And the dad, he tries to act like he wants to be part of their lives, but he doesn't apply himself.
Right.
Or he doesn't work with me. Like if I say, okay, we're gonna have a verbal agreement, it's gonna be every other weekend. Let it be every other weekend from like Friday to Sunday. That's a full weekend with your children.
Right.
He doesn't want to follow it. So you're not gonna get your way. You know, you got to work with me too.
Right.
So I was very lucky in that situation, because nobody on his side was gonna ever try to fight anything, because they don't want them. You know, probably what they're thinking. I don't want the burden. I don't want her to watch her kids because her mess up.
Yeah.
And then thank God I have family, and I have a husband that actually loves me enough to take care of my kids, so I didn't lose them. So I was very very thankful for that. You know, I know there's a lot of people that have been in situations where they've, you know, have almost lost their kids, or have lost their kids, and I couldn't imagine what you're going through or what anybody goes through with that, or has went through that, because I've never experienced it personally, but I've came close to it, you know. But
Everybody wants to know, what was your rock bottom? What was the thing that that catapulted you into to finally getting sober for good?
going to jail.
Tell us
It wasn't
about it.
even death now. It wasn't even death. It was going to jail. I've never been away from anybody that I love and told you cannot see them, or you cannot touch them, or you cannot, you have to be locked up. I did not like that feeling. I didn't like that feeling, being away from my kids, have to lie to my kids, so when they come see me, they think I'm in a hospital. You know what I mean? They're not thinking their mom's trash and is in jail. And I just don't ever want to go through that again. You know, it's just something you never want to experience. Nobody wants to experience that, you know. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I met some good people in there. I've had the best laughs in jail. I've seen the neatest concoctions of how they make food and stuff like that. And I'll never forget my experience now because that was a big experience for me. But the feelings of being kept away from my family, I just don't ever want to go through that again. And
How long were you
I'll
there?
never. 3 months. See, it wasn't
That's
that
a
long.
substantial amount of time. I mean, 90 days.
I mean, but see, to me, I feel like, people like will look at it and say, "Well, damn, she wasn't in there that long," and I know I wasn't, but I don't want to do that again. That to me was rock bottom to me. After where it was starting to get freezing, and in Duval, they don't want to put the heat on for you, so it's freezing. You don't know when you're going to get a sweater. But
Well, I know. I was in ADC for 1 year, and it was horrible.
yeah,
It was bad.
really,
But that wasn't my
really,
rock bottom. That wasn't nothing but a thing. I came
really.
out of prison and I was like, skeet skeet.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And see, you would think like me almost dying would have been the end. Like, you know what I mean? And it was almost the end, but no, I wasn't strong enough.
See, losing Nathaniel was what got me to get sober. Losing my son, because
Yeah,
I was in a
yeah,
coma for 7 days. I went to prison for a year. I've been to like 6 treatment centers. I've crashed my car a million times, all kinds of stuff. But when they took my kid away from me, I was like, oh hell, no.
yeah.
Like
The mama
I
came out
give
and was
up.
like, "Have that."
Yeah, I totally tapped out when that happened because and it was probably like how you felt when you were locked up being away from your kids because that's how I felt not
Yeah,
having my son with me. It was like every night when I'd close my eyes, I would see his face in my dreams and it was just so horrible. It was
every Sunday
tormenting me.
they would come see me, and when my son would come see me, that was just I couldn't stop crying. It just I couldn't. I did not lie. I could not. I don't want to ever feel that feeling again where I could not touch my kid or be away from my child that long. I mean, he was getting to the point where he was starting to call me Dixie. He wasn't
Mhm.
calling me mom. So it
Yeah.
was bothering me. It was just I just never want to experience that. Like I know there's a lot of people that have had worse experiences than me. You know, and I could just imagine what they go through.
Girl, you had a pretty bad experience, though. I mean, yours is a pretty hardcore situation. I mean, a lot of people don't go to jail. A lot of people don't end up in car wrecks. A lot of people don't shoot up. I mean, you've been down through there, and
Yeah.
it's like it's.
And I got scars to prove it. I got holes in my skin. Like,
I saw your
and
video about people making fun of your scars. Do they do? Do
yeah.
people really do that?
Well, like if I haven't seen somebody in a long time and we're like coming into Walmart in a grocery store and we have like, "Hey, how you doing?" and you just always watch them look at your arms. Like I know you got to recognize that. Do you
Yeah,
ever recognize
yeah,
it?
yes.
That happens to me a lot, and it does bother me, especially if you know me, and it does. But I don't say nothing because I don't want to cause no more problems. But yeah, it does
Does
bother me.
everybody know you're in recovery now?
Huh?
Does everybody know that you're in recovery now?
Yes, yes.
Like, did
Like
everybody in town know that you were on drugs?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
same here. And
yeah,
so I figured
yeah. Like
they knew I was strung
shit no
out,
more.
so now they know I'm sober. Like, I don't. It's like I would rather them know me sober than the way I used to be.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like okay, for instance, like Satsuma. That's my little town. When I walk in the handy-way when I was tweaking, you get them looks like, God, she looks bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then you're sober walking in there. They don't know what to do now. So to me, I feel like it's a one-up. Like, yeah, you see me sober now. What you gonna say about me? You
yeah,
know? And
yeah,
then they start looking different at you, and it builds. I feel like it helps you build confidence. You know?
yeah. How long have you been sober?
16 months.
Damn, that's good. You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm
And
yeah,
listen,
like I'm trying.
y'all don't even want to get high. You don't have no cravings anymore.
Nope.
Good,
No.
good.
Now I'm gonna lie now. Like if we're watching something or like it brings up something, I'll have a flashback. But I've gotten so strong that no, I'm not touching shit. I have built so much that I do not want to lose my kids and my family and my life. I've built a platform that I'm so proud of. I don't want to lose any of that. So
Right. That's That's what I tell everybody is that you have to gain more in your recovery than you had when you were in your active addiction. So it's
Right.
not worth it to get high anymore.
Exactly.
You
Because
know?
if I go use, right when we get off this live, I'm going to lose everything
Yep.
that I've worked for. And I just don't want to lose that.
Dude, I go and I look for your for the videos that you make about, to watch them. Like I look for your content. And when I don't see it for a while, I come to your account because I love watching your videos. I always get a laugh. I can't I laugh so fucking hard with you and that
That's
damn
what I
headlamp.
want, though. That's what I want, though. That's how it should be. Is we should all be building each other up, making each other happy, boosting each other up. It shouldn't.
You gotta
All this hate
understand.
going on. I don't know what. I don't understand it. I don't.
There's people that watch you and they're jealous because they're not doing anything. They're sitting at
But they
home.
do something.
You have to feel pity for them. That's why those people are like, people do that to me too. They report my videos and they get them taken down,
Yeah.
or they strike me so I have to not be able to go live. It's because they're literally sitting at home and they're not doing anything and they're
Well, they
miserable.
give up. Yeah. That's crazy, though.
They could do the same thing. That's what I tell everybody. You could do the same thing. You could build a platform just like I have, just like Dixie has.
That's
But you
right.
have to put in the work. You have to focus on, pick something and get focused and do it.
Right. Well, because in the here recently, I took a break. Like I just did not post anything because I'll be honest with you, TikTok really, really made me mad. Like when they took my creator fund from me, really hurt my feelings. Like it wasn't even the fact about money; it was the fact that man, like I made one video that just wasn't to your liking, and you do that. Like
Appeal it.
I
Can you
didn't
not?
understand that, huh?
Can you not appeal it?
I did, and they told me no, that it was not going to be. It was just
I would
it was
write. I
completely.
would send an email and write back again because I just
I
keep on
did.
doing it.
I did, and they told me they changed it to 6 months suspension.
Good.
But that really, really, it. I was having a little pity party for myself because I was like, damn, I put so much of my heart and soul into this, but then I had to sit back and think, you know what? This isn't just for me, but it is for my recovery, but it is for others too. And I had to think about that. It's not always about you. So I came back and started making more videos, and it's been helping. And I could tell, like in my spirit, is a lot better now.
When they take
Making more
away your
videos.
ability to do things like that, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting the people who actually get something out of your content and get
Right,
help. You know what I
right,
mean? And so
yeah,
that's what I try to explain to people that troll me. I'm like, you're not hurting me, you're hurting the people who rely on me for these live streams every night. Like, and it's just like,
right,
don't think about just because you don't like me. It's like if you don't like me, scroll on by, block me.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. Like
I
why
don't
make
know
a big
why
deal about?
anybody wouldn't like you though. I think you're hilarious. I think people
Thank
get
you.
offended because they want you to be like, they get mad at me too because I tell stories about my active addiction. You're glorifying your addiction, Nicole.
Yeah, I get that too.
Stop
It's
telling
not
war
glory.
stories.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
like,
you know what? Yeah,
that's
just
part of it. That's part of it. That's how we
yeah,
relate to
exactly.
people is by sharing our
Right,
experiences. Um,
exactly.
it can't all be positive and about recovery. And I'm going
Got
to
to
say
rainbows.
this. If people would actually watch the content about recovery and TikTok would actually promote it, then I'd make the videos. But guess what? TikTok
Yeah,
promotes the meth stories. TikTok promotes the videos about shooting dope and being all crazy. They promote the bad stuff and they hide
that's
the good stuff about recovery.
that's right. That's
And
right.
so
I didn't ever thought about that.
the
That's right.
proof is in the views. Look at some of your
That's
views.
right.
Your most controversial videos about doing dope will get the most views. And then a video where you're
Yes.
telling everybody, I just celebrated 2 years sober, will get 2 views.
Right. That's true. I never even thought of that.
It's TikTok doing it. They only and it's the viewers too. The viewers, whether they like it or not, they are drawn in by drama, chaos, and negativity, and
Yes.
that's what
Yes.
grabs their attention.
But I feel like there may be some hope because Trashly Anonymous, she blew TikTok. Like I am
Oh
so
yeah,
proud of her. Like she went, like she told her story like we all did, and it just like it clicked, you
yeah.
know. And it's hit a million people,
I
you know,
know.
that actually watched and respect her for that. So if one can do it, I know we all can do it. We're getting there. You
Yeah.
got, you know what, 80 some thousand. Like
Yeah.
I think eventually maybe they might open their arms up to, you know, the recovery creators eventually.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think that
they're
you know what
doing it.
Ashley did? She had that song she picked was perfect with the
Yes, it
words
was.
for what she was
Yes.
talking about. And that was genius. I mean, on her part, that was very good. That was a well played video. You know what I mean?
Yes, it was.
And I've
Yeah,
been
it was.
racking my brain trying to think of a good song that will go with something, but it has to be just right. It has to be the right song, just like
Or go right
7 to 12
together.
minutes long, and
Yeah.
it has to be short, a good song, and I'm telling you. But if she can get
You
it,
gonna get
we
it.
can get it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's
That's
what it
right.
is. That's opening up the path for people like us who are. I feel like we're a little bit more. I don't want to say like grimy. We talk about more like bad meth. I mean, meth addiction is embarrassing and it's
It
bad
is
and
very,
it's
very.
you know what I mean.
Yes.
And I feel like it's opening up that door for us more. You know?
Right. I think it is too. So I'm so happy that she opened that door for us because
Yeah.
a lot, and I think it'll make a lot of other people that have, you know, addictions or, you know, prostitution or whatever will be more comfortable to open up and talk their story. Like I noticed just from being on TikTok, the few followers that are dedicated followers that, you know, they'll jump in my live and I'll see them, they've been posting videos and making videos for themselves. And it's so nice to see them actually jump out of their comfort zone and say, you know what, I'm going to try this and actually do it. And it's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Because I know like a lot of my friends, they'll come into the lives and they'll say, well, God, I can't express myself. Yes, you can. Get out there and do it. Just get in front of that camera and act like it's just you and
Yeah.
just let it have it, you know,
So tell me
and it'll
this:
all work out.
what do you do to stay sober today? Like, do you have any kind of like plan, or what do you do? What's your sober day look like?
My sober day? Well, okay. I usually wake up in the afternoons. I'm not a morning person. Usually 11 or 12 is when I get out of
I wake
bed.
up late
Um,
too.
do you? Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got kids up my butt all day long, asking to eat, asking for something to drink. I'm either making something to eat or making something to drink. And then I'm on TikTok watching videos or posting videos. Or sometimes me and the husband will get the kids and we'll go out to get something to eat in town or might go somewhere just, you know, once a week or something, once or twice a week. But I'm mostly here at the house. I don't do anything. I don't have, when I stopped drugs and that life that I had to throw away a lot of things like
Me too.
the
Yeah.
friends. The friends I had were not friends because they didn't stick around. They were on drugs or they didn't like the path I was going.
Yeah.
So, and then the places, you know, I can't go around the places. So I just feel the safest place for me is home with my family.
You're
But you
doing
know
the
what? Don't
right
bother.
thing. You're doing the
Right.
right
And
thing.
some people it might bother them because they might be busybodies and can't sit still. Me, I've learned to be calm and just chill. You know, if I was younger, I probably
You're
wouldn't be
doing the
that
right
way. It
thing. I
probably
had to do the same thing. Me and my husband,
yeah,
we stay at home with our son. We might go out and do
yeah,
family things together, but we are
right.
chilling at the house. There's nothing going on out there that I need to do that I hadn't done, honey. I've done it all.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
I've
That's
lived
right.
my life. I partied. I've been up
That's
all
it.
night. I've stayed up more hours than I've been alive, probably. You know,
Exactly. That's
so
right. And
I'm
if
not
if
worried
I'm
about that.
up and see, I can be a night owl. I'm a night owl.
Me
And
too.
I'll stay up in my house, but I'm in my house. I'm not doing nothing, not hurting nobody, and that's how I like it. I don't need none of that shit. I don't care nothing about it. And I couldn't even tell you right now why it was so addicting. Like it was just, I think it was just the euphoric feeling of it that just kept me addicted to it.
Oh yeah, meth
Because
is so
the
strong.
after effects with it and everything, I don't understand why I would want to even be hooked to something like that. But I guess it just felt so good. You had the dragon's breath that came along with it and everything. I hated who it turned me into with how I stole from my mom. I stole from people. Mostly though, I stole from my mom, and I fight hard every day to try to repay that back to her by trying to be a better person every day, and try to be more mature, and just, I don't know. I try so hard, but I feel like I don't have enough to give her to have her
Your
to
mom
where she
forgives
forgives
you.
me completely.
All you got to
I
do
know
is
she does, but
live your sobriety. That's what your mom wants you to do is be sober. I promise you. That's how you pay her
right,
back is by living your amends, staying sober, okay? My mom and dad are
right,
the same way. They are just happy that we're sober. That's it.
yeah.
They just
See,
want
that's good.
to be
That's how it should be.
ourselves.
Right.
You don't have to
That's
pay your
right.
mom back anything. I'm telling you,
See, and
like,
that's how I feel in my head. I have it in my head. I feel that way. But when somebody gets mad at you, and then the truth usually comes out in their anger. Well, sometimes with the things they say,
mhm.
and that happens a lot. Like my past gets thrown in my face a lot. You know, not as bad as it used to, but it does come up. Like, well, you stole tons of money from me. It's like that one video I made where you put your hands on your ears. It was all the things, and it always sticks in my head. So I always have in my head that I just have to just fight so hard and pay back every dime that I've taken from her. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't feel that way, but it's the guilt setting in from
I
all that
mean,
I
you can
did.
make an effort and try to pay it back
Yeah,
to
I
her,
do.
you
Right,
know?
and I do make an effort, but I think I'm just I'm putting too much on me that I should be. If that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
really hard on myself. I don't know what that's called, but I'm really really hard on myself. I beat
Well, you
myself
got
up a
guilt
lot.
and shame. That's why you know what
Yeah,
you need to do? You need to get a sponsor and work the 12 steps. I'm telling you. Even if
you think
I do
so?
the Mara 12 steps, it's medication assisted recovery anonymous, and it's amazing and it'll help you to heal that guilt and shame. I'm telling you. I'll
Well, see
send you
now
the
when
link. I'll send you the link to
okay,
Mara. You can read the 12 steps on your own and go through them on your own if you want to. Just read them
okay.
and try to do
Well,
some of the stuff that they say.
the lady. Okay, when I'm on probation now, and I was court ordered to go to the ITM group meetings. It's a place where you go once a week. You sit down with other addicts that are on probation, and you do whatever the counselor assigns you. But then once a month or twice a month or something, you actually have a one-on-one with the counselor or the
That's good.
psychiatrist, or I think she's a psychiatrist, or no, a counselor, I think. She's a head counselor, I don't know, but anyways, I used to have to sit with her and talk to her one-on-one, and I felt like that helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just once or twice a week going and just letting out everything that I possibly feel, to just have somebody listen, like from somebody on the outside in. If that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
You know?
That's what you got to
And I
have.
noticed,
I had a therapist for the
yeah,
first 3.5 years I was sober. I was going to therapy.
yeah, really, and
Yeah.
it helped you,
Oh,
like
hell
with your
yeah.
process.
That's why I'm so good about at talking about everything that I feel. I don't
Yeah,
hold nothing in.
yeah,
I tell it all. I
yeah,
get it out of me and I get it
yeah.
out of me so that way I can feel free and I can let it go. You know?
Right,
The
right.
only thing that I carry guilt really bad that I haven't been able to let go is about my son. And I'll probably
Wow.
never be able to let that go. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, that's.
it just is what it is. Like I was
Does your son
really
remember
bad in my
things?
addiction, you know?
Does your son remember the past?
No, he was
Does
only
he
1 year old when he got taken away from me. He was 1.
Okay, so he don't remember. They don't have no good. That's
Nothing. He
good.
don't remember nothing.
You know, that's good. So
And he's
then it's like,
healthy and he's thriving. Like a lot of people, they'll say you ruined your kid's brain because you used drugs. Like I know that could have
I hear
happened, but it
because
didn't
my son's
happen.
autistic. I hear that. Yeah,
You know.
that's rude. People shouldn't say shit like that, but I hear that too. Because my son's autistic and he has emotional behavior disorder, speech delay, I get told, "Well, you did pills. You know, you did." I was doing Roxy's while I was pregnant with him,
Hmm.
and I get told that, you know, you're the reason why he has the problems he has today, and that was from his other side,
And it's like, don't
off
they
his.
think we know that? Don't they think we already feel horrible about that? Like
I know, I
I
know.
beat myself about it all the time.
Yeah, it's like I think people do it for spite, but why? You know,
I think
we're already in a bad situation. We're trying to get out of and thrive from. So
that's what they don't understand is they don't see that we're on the other side now and we're trying to be better
right,
and do better. And by commenting negative things about our past, that's I mean, yes, we already know what we did was wrong. We have remorse and we are sorry that it happened and we're trying to do the right thing to turn it around now.
right. And
So
I don't know why. It's like when you become or when you become a junkie, it's like everybody has that label. Oh, once a junkie, always a junkie. That's not true. I mean, we have, we're always going to have the disease, and we're always going to be fighting the disease. But I just feel like they lose just what's the word I'm looking for, Nicole? Like
we're
I
not
feel like they
junkies no
lose.
more. We have self-respect now.
Right, right,
And a lot of people they label us. That's the stigma of addiction. That
right,
just because we used to be junkies, which was lying, cheating, stealing, all that kind of stuff, doesn't mean that we're still that, even though we're sober. And I think
right.
some people think that we don't change, that we just get sober, but we're still stealing, lying, cheating, and all that. That was the addiction. That was not who I was. I wasn't like that before I started using drugs. I never stole from anybody. You know.
Exactly.
So we're new.
Yeah,
We're
like
new
I would have
people
never
now.
done my mom like that. Like I sit here and I think like I would have never gotten bad to where what I did to my mom, you know, unless I was on drugs.
Yeah.
And I sit back and think, would I do that? No, never.
I have to ask you this before we end this. If you could say one thing to someone that was struggling with addiction right now, what would it be?
Don't give up. Don't give up and keep your head up and don't lose the faith. Fight. Fight as hard as you can.
That's
And
what I say
reach
too.
to
Don't
somebody.
lose hope.
Reach out to us. Reach out to anybody. You know, I know that I'm not consistent on my DMs, but if somebody really, really needs to get a hold of me or talk to me, please just keep getting in touch with me. I will answer. I know I'm bad about answering, but
You're doing a good job. Listen to me. Stop being down on yourself, okay? Like you are an awesome creator. Your content is the shit. You're hilarious. You need to have confidence in what you're doing, okay? Like seriously. Um don't be second guessing the person that you are. Like you are solid. Okay? Like I used to be like you when I first got sober. It was probably like a good 2 or 3 years into my sobriety before I started being like real sure of myself. But you
yeah,
gotta stop because you're doing the right thing. Your content is great. People look forward to watching your videos. There's 20 people in here right now that all love you, that all love watching your content. And so I know it's hard because like we've been so down on ourselves for so many years. And maybe I think a little bit of what's going on with you is that that shit from your dad has spilled over until your adulthood and you're probably hearing your dad saying all the stuff he used to say when you were a kid. But that's not the truth because that's not who you are and you're more than what your dad told you that you were. You know what I'm saying? I used
oh
to go
yeah,
through the same thing
Nicole.
with my dad. He's a good man and he meant well, but he was real hard on me too. So I understand. But you have to see the worth in you. You're not lazy. You're not a. My dad used to say, these girls, they're slobs. They're lazy slobs. They never do anything they're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
I don't think dads understand how much that affects daughters. You know what I
It
mean?
does.
It's different
Yeah.
if it's boys. Like my dad came from a family of 2 boys, and so his dad did that to him. And so he did that to me and my sisters, but we were girls. And
Yeah,
so
my dad used to have me call my mom a whale, and oh, she's just a big old whale, ain't she? Call her a whale,
yes.
and or he call me fat ass, or you're getting big, or and get me all insecure myself, where I was eating one meal a day. Like, I know he didn't know how to show his love. He felt like showing his love was buying things. No,
Yep.
that's just not how it works,
Yes.
And I know a lot of my insecurities and the way I am is because of my father. And I know it stems off in there. Plus of how I've been treated in the past by, the father of my children, and then the other relationships I've had in the past. But
I didn't mean to get
it's
emotional
hard.
on you.
Okay, I feel bad. I'm
But
so
that's what it
sorry.
is, because I was the same way. That's why I had an eating disorder, because my dad used to talk about his weight all the time, and he was so self
Yeah.
conscious. He was self conscious about his weight, so he put that on me and my sisters. And so me and my sisters have always been self conscious about our weight. And
And
so
that's
I totally relate. Like, my dad was a good dad, but he didn't know how to do things. Like, he was the same way. He was super brash and like real hard on us and a perfectionist. And I
yeah.
totally understand. Like, it really made me insecure. You know what I mean?
Like if you heard the semi truck pulling in, you were on tippy toes. Me and my
Yeah.
mom were running, trying to figure out everything. Like my dad used to get in my face this close and say, "You want to fight like a man? You're my dad, man." Like I guess, and he was the type. If you got in trouble, you were sitting down in front of him, and he was going to lecture you, and you weren't getting up until he was done, and that could be hours, and just nitpicking and just you don't realize how much that affects mentally to somebody, and it affected me really, really bad. I mean, I watched how he was to my mom. He mentally abused her. He smacked her around. He smacked me a couple times, but he would whip me, and sometimes he'd listen to other kids, and like say the kids would say I would cuss, I would get whipped for what they would say.
Right.
So I see, I understand. It's he was an asshole. But
Well,
that is a lot of the reason I have the issues I have.
I
Though.
know
You're right,
it
though.
is. I know it is. And so that's why I'm telling you, like, I just want you to
I
know
don't know.
that I know that I enjoy your videos, and I know a lot of other people here on TikTok too. You
Well,
know?
I hope so.
So I
Yeah,
don't
I
want
hope they
you to
do.
be like insecure about it, because I mean we all look forward to your videos, and so I want you to have more confidence in yourself, okay? And you know what you can do? You can start a YouTube channel and you can monetize your YouTube channel. So why don't you do that? That'll be a way that you can.
Well,
I make money off my YouTube channel.
Well, I made a YouTube channel and I started moving over little skits that I have from my page, but I have so many I want to move over there. I've never done YouTube, so like I don't even know where to start. I just made the page and I think I got like 3 subscribers.
And then you can make
But
10-minute or 20-minute videos of you sharing story times with them, and you can have your
yeah,
people from TikTok go over there. So don't give up on getting monetized, because like I make like $200 a month off my YouTube channel.
that's not bad. That's
So,
good.
and I mean, as it grows,
Yeah.
it'll be more. So you could do the same thing, okay?
Okay. I have to try
Well,
that.
I'm so glad
I
you
feel
came
like
on here.
I am too, but I'm like so red. I hope I did okay.
You did great. Okay, so Megan says, Dixie, you really do have a knack for comedy. See, I told you.
Oh, thank you guys.
There's a lot of
I'm
people
better.
in here. They
Huh?
all are your fans, so you're doing great. Okay.
Okay.
All right, girl. I love
Thank
you. I'm
I
gonna
love
put
you
this on
too.
YouTube, and I'll send it to you when I put it on YouTube, so you can see it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, girl. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, what's going on, Anchor Girl? I seen you coming up in here. You know, I was trying to interview Dixie. So, first of all, I don't know what's going on with you, Anchor Girl, but you ain't gonna relapse. If you are not gonna relapse. Like, that's the stupidest thing you can do, okay? Like, don't even think about that. And if it has anything to do with a guy, block him, delete him out of your life, and just focus on staying in the moment. You need to focus on your sobriety right now. You need to focus on this 24 hours. Picking up drugs is not going to do anything. It's only going to make the situation worse, you guys. Okay? Going and using is only going to compound things and make things 10 times worse. Okay? And here's the thing, girl. If he's using and you're in love, I'm sorry. I know that has got to suck. But why do you want to be with somebody who's using? Why do you want to be in a relationship with somebody who is a narcissist and physically abusive? Okay? He has you brainwashed, honey. I don't even know if that's love, okay? I don't even think that's love. I think what that is you're brainwashed. Okay? And you are sick, and he knows you're sick, and he's preying on you. Okay? He sees you as a weak little animal, and he is a big tiger who is just going to pounce and suck the blood out of you. Okay? That's all that those narcissists do. You're his supply. Okay? And when he's not getting his supply fed from you, then he'll move on to something else. Okay? So please, do not lose your sobriety over a piece of shit. Okay? Do not do it. Do not do it. Because it's not love. Like I said, you're his supply. What I want you to do, Anchor Girl, is I want you to get off here. When we hang up, I'm fixing to have to get off here and go wash my damn face. I got all this makeup on. I want you to go on YouTube, and I want you to look up narcissistic personality disorder, and I want you to watch some of the videos about abuse and narcissism, okay? And start educating yourself more on that, so that way you'll have the tools to fight back against that situation. But bottom line is, Anchor Girl, you have to start holding yourself to a higher standard, okay? You got to say, I'm better than this. I deserve more than that. I'm not going to settle for less anymore. Because that's the thing. You've gotten so used to settling for less that this is second nature for you to go back to this piece of shit. Okay? So stop settling for less. I don't know why you keep putting yourself on the clearance rack at TJ fucking Maxx. Okay? When you're supposed to be in Gucci. Alright? So get off the fucking clearance rack at TJ Maxx and get back on the name brand aisle and live your life, live your best life, okay? Quit downgrading yourself. It's only adding to it's only making your life worse when you're downgrading like that, you know? And anybody who is going to abuse you and talk down to you does not love you, okay? Anyone who doesn't respect your boundaries and care about you and doesn't show you love and respect, that is not love. That is not healthy. Okay, I understand. I've been there. I was in a very, very bad abusive relationship for a really long time. But I'm telling you, man, it's no way to live, all right? And you have an amazing husband who forgave you. So if I was you, I would go and I would lay down with my husband and I would talk to him and I would snuggle with him. I would go make some hot chocolate, maybe some popcorn, have a movie night and relax. But it's not worth it. And this, Anchor Girl, is why your ass ain't getting off Suboxone. So your ass needs to, I don't want to see you say that one more time for the next 6 months. You need to be on your medication, stabilized, and you also need to get into some kind of therapy. ASAP. Okay? Seriously. Do not waste this time. Utilize this time to be building your life back up and healing, right, from the inside out. Y'all don't understand how much Anchor Girl be busting my chops about wanting to taper on her medicine, and I'm like, no. Absolutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. We have got to get you stable in your life, okay? In your life, and then you can get off your medicines. I wouldn't even try to taper off of any medicines until you get your life stable and you get this dude out of your mind. Okay? Like far away out of your mind. You need a good 6 months away from that scumbag even being in your mind. Okay? So I love you guys. I'm going to go wash my face off. Isn't Dixie the shit? I love her so much. I hate that she was so nervous, but she did good. She was just really nervous because she's never done this before. But next time we have her on, we're going to be able to tell all kinds of stories, y'all, about the shadow people we saw. And we'll just be laughing the whole fucking time. Okay, I love you guys. So tomorrow night, I'll be live tomorrow night, 7:30. We're doing a movie night tomorrow night. Y'all, we're doing movie night tomorrow night. 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time here on TikTok, right here, okay? So we're either going to watch A Beautiful Boy, which is an addiction movie. Then there's another movie called Six Balloons. The Recovery Boys. What other movie? There's a couple of recovery movies I saw on Netflix. So we're going to watch a recovery movie, an addiction recovery movie, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys missed this interview with Dixie tonight, I'm about to download it and throw it up on YouTube. And Cece, I'm going to text you on Facebook Messenger right now, okay? All right, you guys. See y'all tomorrow night at 7:30 for movie night.